Hello to the chicos and the chicas. Welcome back to the third day of the Champions Chess Tour, and today I'm going to have a look at a super exciting game in which Magnus Carlsen, the reigning world champion, fell victim. But before I do that, I just need to put this in a bit of a context. Obviously, we have been observing a really remarkable generational takeover, if you will, in the world of chess, which has started perhaps a fair while ago, but first materialized in front of our very own eyes, the Indian Chess Olympiad, where the Uzbek team took out the Olympic gold medal, but the Indian team has also done tremendous damage, and I'm talking about India 3, I think they were the youngsters, Gukesh, Arjun Erigasi, and Pragnananda, of course, being the 3 leaders of this new generation. And we have to say that, boy oh boy, India is delivering in spades in the Champions Chess Tour as well. Right now, they are defeating Magnus Carlsen, the reigning world champion, 2-0. Yesterday, it was Erigasi who defeated Carlsen, and today we are going to have a look at the game between Gukesh and Carlsen. Gukesh, by the way, now has become the youngest, I believe, player to defeat the world champion. So let's have a look at what happened in this game. Super fascinating stuff, by the way. Maggie chucked out the French, which I am 100% certain took Gukesh by at least a little surprise, and I'm going to elaborate on why I'm saying that in a little while. Crocodile, Bishop e3 is one of the biggest main lines. I personally played the classical Bishop g5 one mostly with white, but this is just as well fine. In fact, this is probably the more popular variation on top level. All opening theory, so I'm not going to waste your time with this one. This is all theory. Hundreds of games in the Grandmaster database here, and according to the engine, by the way, black easily equalizes here. Until now, the times are roughly even. So, and here Gukesh goes for f5, which is also theoretical, but I want to stop here because there are a number of variations here that white can go for. The most popular one being king h1 to remove the king from this diagonal, but it does give the impression of being a little bit timid. And I really like the fact that Gukesh goes for the, what appears to be at least, to the cursory glance, the most aggressive, the most vicious, the most in-your-face type of move. And what I really like about that is that when you play the world champion and you are behind the white pieces, you want to beat them. If you are Gukesh, you know, knocking on the door of the world's elite, you want to go after them. And it is your job to take the fight to them. You don't wait for that fight to arrive. Nay, brother. You take the fight to them and you try to fight on your terms and see if you can get the better of them. To be perfectly fair, Gukesh actually fails in this, in the sense that this attack is not going to succeed. But overall, the approach, the mindset, the mentality, in my opinion, is spot on. So let's see what happened. f5 takes, knight f4, knight e7, still theory, by the way. e6, once again, we are not taking any prisoners. This is definitely the way to go. Another pawn sacrifice, which according to opening theory can't be accepted. The idea, of course, is now that with the pawn being given up on e6, first of all, we vacated the e5 square for the knight, but the knight takes e6 tactic is the key concept, where the knight can't take on e6 because the queen is hanging, and upon queen capturing on e6, we take c5 with a rook e1 threat being really powerful, and black being just one move away from castling is just one too many for them to feel safe. So, castles and f6 are the non-theoretical moves. Carlsen settles for f6, and I think that this was the point where Gukesh ran out of theory and prep, and obviously I'm saying that because he spent more than 4 minutes on the clock, and also I'm saying that because he came up with a mistake. This is actually not a good move, and the Valbar tells you the story right away. The engine likes rook a d1 with the idea of backing up the d3 bishop, and after takes, both c takes and rook takes, knight takes are possible. Obviously it's a little bit weird to put the rook on d1 if you retake with the c, and it feels far more intuitive to have it here on the C file, which is exactly why Gukesh went to C1. The problem with this move is the fact that now black does not have to engage on D3 at all, and instead can castle and start tickling this knight with queen D6. And also there is a very good argument to be made that the E6 pawn is becoming quite weak. In the long run, black can play for knight E4, and boy, that would be a monstrous outpost. So long story short, whilst Gukesh played, in my opinion, the right style, the opening wasn't exactly a success. But then again, this is Magnus Carlsen, the reigning world champion, so you are not gonna get an easy advantage, no matter which color you are playing with. C3 trying to utilize the C file for the rook. Queen D6, as per discussed. Bishop takes, rook takes on B4, and knight E4. And this is exactly the position that I described earlier on as a really problematic one for white, because now the knight on E4 is an uncontested beast. The E6 pawn has been tamed very much by the knight on E7, a beautiful blockader, as we learned it from Nimzovich. And white, it doesn't really have an awful lot to play for. Indeed, black is clearly better here, but being better doesn't equal to winning. Queen E3 was played to support the knight on F4, AB4, and knight D4. Now, the irony is that black basically stands better in every segment of the board. Can play G5 and progress on the king side. Can play G6 and secure the king side and play on the queen side. And also in the center, by virtue of having this beautiful knight, black is definitely the one calling the shots. Rook takes A2, knight B5, queen E5, and this is where the game takes a very sharp and dramatic turn. Very interesting stuff. It all starts with another inaccuracy, or as the engine would say, a blunder, but I'm very reluctant to call Rook C7 a blunder, although it is one, because it's such an awesome aggressive move. Again, Gukesh is trying to, find some counterplay, throw some punches at the world champ, and he actually succeeds. Carlsen, he blunders the entire game away in one move by playing Rook E8, but before I show you that, I want to show you the marvelous way how he could have pulled ahead here by miles. Knight G6 is the very clever idea for black here, with the idea of trading that knight for the F4 one, which is the key defender of the white king side. And once that trade takes place, queen takes B2 is gonna be like a horse kick with this G2 threat. The engine recommends here for white to pull the rook back for this reason to C2 in order to manage the B2 weakness and cover the rest of the second rank. And here I found an absolutely marvelous line that wins for black. It is a true beauty. Watch this. This is just so good. Knight F4, Rook F4. Queen F4 is perhaps better, but then the endgame is really a sad story. B3 comes, black is a pawn up, E6 is dying. It is just misery. So let's have a look at Rook F4, and now comes the delicious business. D4, breaking through in the center. Queen D4 is not playable due to queen takes F4, so the knight has to take, but that allows black this absolutely bonkers tactic. Check this out. Rook A1 check. Rook F1, and here comes the boomski, knight G3. And ta-da, we have got a hanging queen, and we have got a mate in 1 on F1. And if white manages to defend it by queen G3, which they can do, there comes the second beautiful mate pattern, mate attack, queen D4. And now if I block with the rook, there comes rook F1, king F1, and queen D1 mate. Matutski finishes the business, and so I'm forced to take back, to block on F2 with the queen. But even here the motive works, and after rook F1, king F1, queen D1 check, the C2 rook is gonna be dropping off the board because queen E1 here is forced. So that would have been the way for Magnus to convert his otherwise winning position here by playing knight G6. Instead, however, he plays the absolutely shocking Rook E8. Mind you, he played it after 40 seconds of thinking. I don't think he was aware of how winning he was. Or he was very aware of how winning he was and he thought that every single move would actually rake in the victory. And that is always a dangerous mindset to have. And rook e8 is an extremely unfortunate move to make, because now comes the counter strike queen b6, and all of a sudden it is amazing. We went from -5 to +8 in that 2 moves of rook e8, queen b6. Queen b6 is quite a mysterious move at first sight, but it's super easy to understand. The main threat is rook takes e7, and after rook takes back we have got a back rank mate. Now this is ridiculously difficult to stop with meaningful moves, especially if we consider the fact that after queen b6, lo and behold, the queen has run out of squares. So if I go, knight e7, rook e7, easy peasy, I can stop that. Yeah, you did. How about your queen? Oops. The queen is trapped on e5. The very queen that was the hero of the day in the knight g6 variation becomes the downfall, the reason why black's position just crumbles and collapses. It's absolutely insane how this knight is an octopus knight, as Kasparov would say, covers so many important squares for the queen that it can't go to. It's just mind-blowing. Like literally out of nowhere did that motif come. I think that's what Magnus must have overlooked. So after queen b6 he played knight g5, but there was nothing left to play for. Rook takes e7, rook e8 was played. Obviously capture loses to mate in 2, so that was not possible. And now with an extra piece, obviously Gukesh converts with ease. Queen c7, threatening mate, threatening queen trade, queen check, king h1, and there was nothing left to play for. Magnus is a piece down. The knight on f4 is covered, so even the queen f4 tricks don't work because I can just take rather than allowing a back rank mate. Literally nothing. Absolutely nothing to play for. I can be a sneaky one and try to do this to create a back rank cheapie, but instead now we are going to get mated in a beautiful fashion, by the way, by knight g6, king here, and queen f7. So that was the recap for today, ladies and gentlemen. The Champions Chess Tour keeps on delivering some of the most exciting chess that we get to observe this year. So I am super keen to continue following this tournament. And of course, I'm going to cover the rest. Please, please, please comment to make that algorithm do the right things other than liking, subbing, super liking. So please engage with the content so that we can push the algorithm. And as usual, I'm going to be back with the next video very soon. Thanks for watching.